Hi guys, this is Kaden. I'm making this video like this because I kind of like how it looks with the window. Hold on. Anyways, I had my first therapy appointment and I think it went well. I'm kind of nervous that they will play the role of gatekeeper, and the reason this worries me is because of the way, even in accepting transgender people, the world still views gender as binary, and that there are binary gender roles, male and female, and that their view is you can be male, but you have to be a traditional male. And if you played with trucks, if a girl plays with trucks, that's quote unquote non-traditional. And I think that's a very erroneous view because gender is such a huge gray area, and the world is afraid of diversity. I had to write a paper for one of my sociology classes, and an interesting thing is in animals there are so many different varieties. There's the parrotfish, a fish that changes its gender. There's, well, it's probably sex since fish probably can't formalize a gender identity. There are animal species where the male and female forms are undistinguishable. There are animals where there's many different male or female combinations. And another interesting thing is that there are animals that engage in same-sex behavior, but there is no such thing in animals that have exclusive homosexual behavior, and that gender and sexual orientation is a social construct that society created. And society, especially Western society, is afraid of whatever is different. A quote from the movie I had to watch for the paper is, biology loves diversity, society hates it. And I think that's really true, especially with the view that there's only one version of a male and female. And I'm afraid they're going to say you can transition into a male, but only if you're this version of a male. And I think one of the reasons it took me so long to figure out is because I'm not the typical football loving male. I'm a male who is male in many ways, but in my head, like, my head is male. I just can't imagine being anything other than male. I experienced being male when I was 6, when I insisted pink is blue when they put the wrong colors. I experienced being male when, throughout growing up, I didn't make any friends because I didn't feel like I fit in with either gender. That I've experienced being male when I hated my body and starved myself as soon as I started puberty around 7th grade. I experienced being male when I had a crush on my brother's 9-year-old girlfriend when I was 10, and not as a girl. I experienced being male when I lived in an isolated fantasy world where I did not interact with peers that could enforce gender roles on me to tell me that there is male and female. I experienced being male when I experienced being male when I couldn't figure out what was wrong with me, when I couldn't figure out what I was feeling. I experienced being male when I was really angry when my parents insisted that there was a physical difference between males and females. And I didn't want it to be true. Because wasn't I male, and why is my body like this? I experienced being male when I wrote poetry. I experienced being male when I was a preteen and younger, who liked playing outdoors and hiking, pretending to spy on his neighbors instead of typical things like dolls and hanging out with the other girls who I was not. I experienced being male when I absolutely hated sports as a teenager and young adult because they were not co-ed, and that there was no way I could see myself ever being on any women's team. I experienced being male when I found martial arts and got all postmodern and said, my gender isn't female, my gender is martial artist. I experienced being male when I thought there was no way I could be female, but wasn't ready to accept being male. So I just said I was neither. That's enough of that. I thought I could be poetic, but I think things are going on the right track. I think the gatekeepers ain't got nothing on me. And I know it's probably not like that. The place I went to, I think, is pretty liberal-minded. And I hope they accept gender variety outside of, transitioning. Even if they don't, I'm going to be on guard because I need to transition, whether or not society agrees. Because I'm an anarchist, and there's more than one way to do something, and I want to do it within the bounds because that's healthier. But I naturally distrust authority, and I will always be on guard because I will not ever conform to anything in my life. I did that for too long. I'm finally free. Circle A. You probably can't see it. My muscles. You can't see it either, but I'm sure they'll get bigger eventually.